And if you want to be with me, I am 100% all in, okay? We're going to figure out all this mess together. Okay?
Yeah.
If you don't, I need to know, okay? You have to make a decision.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for being here so far.
Hi.
That clip looks so good.
I feel like a director in this chair.
Before we get into the season, I want to take it back just a little bit. I believe when we had spoken, you had said you auditioned maybe 8 or 9 times.
7.
7. So for each of you, talk about the process of getting these roles and what you personally brought to the character.
Yeah, I think it was a really crazy experience, the audition, and I think I did maybe 9, but the 2 that started me in the audition room, it was like a cattle call. Like there were 700 girls there, and they were kind of feeding us through like, hi, and you just go in and you're all prepared, and you're like, so thank you, and you're like, oh, so this is not a real job. For the first 2 auditions, I didn't think, it was at the end of pilot season, and I thought that my manager felt bad for me and like made up a job and called the casting and was like, just see her. It says it's not even real. And then it started to get real, and it went on and on and on. I read once, twice, thrice, and then it's a huge process. There's a studio and a network, and they, I think, saw Joss maybe not like me. I don't know, or not the way that I was bringing it, but I was like, she's got to be real, she's got to be cool, she can't just try to make her cool and have real feelings. They just, I think saw her different, so I fought for it, and I'm happy that I did.
I would have cast you after 1.
Oh, that's sweet.
And what about you? What was the process like for you, Brett?
Process was actually quite different for me. On this particular occasion, I got really lucky. What happens is when you're fighting up against a ton of people for auditions, you
He's
tend
like,
to...
they called me.
I know.
He's like, that's sorry, Jess. They called me and offered it. Like they via text. Yeah.
Yeah, just got the job. Okay, I'll be there Monday. No, it's not like that at all. Normally I would go through exactly the same process, but I got lucky because they were desperate and they'd left casting the men to the last minute. They'd done a bunch of auditions and couldn't find their guy, and it was coming up to the end of pilot season, which is when all the new shows are being cast, and so I had kind of given my last of pilot season, and then they just called up, and I got the script, auditioned the same day, and was cast the next day. So
as an American accent,
as an American originally, and so it was a very rare kind of thing. And so what I brought to the character was it cast American. I went in American and was cast as an American. And then it changed the first day of shooting as I was mucking around on the makeup bus with you and Jim.
He came in with his actual accent, and everybody was like, "Who's that? What are you doing? Why are you doing that?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "That's how I talk. I can't do an Australian accent. Don't start." And they were
no,
like,
"Yours is amazing. Please."
No,
there you go. There it is. Terrific.
I sound like the Outback Steakhouse guy.
Nothing wrong with that, mate.
Shrimp on the barbie.
That's a pretty great story. I know Joss and Harry weren't initially supposed to get together. At what point did you think they should get together? And at one point did you find out that they actually were going to get together?
Well, I think that, we knew we had a lot of fun on screen in the first series. Like, we really enjoyed working together, and it was clearly kind of a bit... I think there was what we both brought to our characters was a sense of humour that wasn't necessarily originally in the script. It was a lot of fun and kind of play in there. So I think that's where it started. And then in the second series... we were lucky as actors to get a storyline because of the situation, Joss being Harry's sister-in-law and she's supposed to be getting married to another guy. We were given this opportunity to have a very slow kind of burn that the characters were actually fighting against. So I was glad to hear that they got together because, why not? Why play it safe?
Right.
Like it's gonna be polarizing. Great, fantastic, let's do it. So I was when I found out they would get together, the circumstances under which they got together were very shocking and surprising, and I didn't realize we'd go all the way down to the beach. Is that a euphemism?
On the maybe sand in weird places we keep talking about. Yeah, that was. I think that was. I remember we knew probably once they start writing, and this is the great thing. What we love about the amazing executive producers on our show, they're first of all women, and they're tough as nails, and they're
Scary.
They're scary. They are. But they write for women, but they're really passionate about watching the way the show's going and how the characters are playing and how, chemistry that you can't kind of make is working or not working. So I don't think it was ever in their mind. And oftentimes, I don't know, but a storyline will have to be what it is. They're so malleable with seeing little friendships grow. And what was happening there was that's what the show is ultimately about, all of the girls' storylines. You can't help who you love. So what was happening is they were seeing this friendship that was totally fantastic and best friends and like brotherly, sisterly, but because of the nature of Mistresses, like, wow, let's explore that. Like, what if these two people who really can't be together, get together? And so we knew as we were playing, and Harry Jocelyn, you start to get the scripts and you're reading a scene and you're like, he looks up and she, he's dripping all over her work and she can't, what is going on? Why do I feel this way? So we knew, but we certainly didn't know it was going to be on the wedding day on the beach is like here to eternity moment. We had no idea. I threw the script. Yeah. I was like.
I know you mentioned the executive producers. When I was talking to Rena, who's one of them, she had mentioned she hadn't gotten this type of response to a pairing since her time on Dawson's Creek. And so I'm curious for you what the response has been, because it seems to be a very polarizing situation. Some people are so team Joss and Harry, and other people maybe didn't want them to get together.
Yeah, many people. I mean, but that's the thing, right? As long as I would rather have that actually elicit a reaction than just be super bland about it and be like, oh, of course, that was totally going to happen. That's the thing. There should be two teams. Isn't that the fun thing? You should be and you shouldn't be. The dialogue of that.
Yeah, I tend to wear a disguise most of the time in the street, so I don't get eggs thrown at me. No, it's been mostly positive. People are really lovely, and you see on social media that there is definitely like a 50-50 split. But really, everyone's kind of, people are watching it, then great. Yeah.
As we saw in the clip, I mean, they're obviously going to have to make a lot of decisions. And Harry, who's really due for a good relationship, he's had his bumps, as we've seen, been cheated on. He seems to be all in. So talk a little bit about, tease, I guess, for everyone, the road that they might face this season.
And Harry's such a good guy, isn't he?
He
You're
is.
like, oh, you're such a good
And he
guy.
can cook. If only I could cook as well.
You can't. You're terrible. But then Harry can cook.
Vegemite toast.
Yeah.
Have you tried it?
Don't ask him about Kennebec fries because it's a whole conversation. I mean, honestly, he's like, it'll go on and on about potatoes. But the research you've done, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think, what was the question?
Yeah, look, well, considering that the degree of difficulty which they face coming together at the end of the second series, when she's walking down the aisle, she's my sister-in-law. It's not easy. It's not an easy road. There's a huge fallout from that. It's kind of like a little atomic bomb dropped at the end of the second series, and so the fallout from that is huge for the other characters, and the ripple effect goes on through the whole third series. So I would say. It's going to. There's a lot of fireworks, a lot of action, and a lot of stuff happening in a short amount of time.
Both of your characters each have new platonic relationships this season as well. I hear Harry and a new character, Uncle Mark, have quite the bromance. So are we going to finally see him sort of like hanging out with a dude?
Yeah, hanging out with a dude that he's not going to punch in the face for a change. It's kind of nice.
You're totally bromancing. It's so cute.
I think it's a good energy for the show because we haven't really seen it before. It's the girls are so tight and the guys are kind of there in the girls' storylines. But this is kind of a separate thing, and it's really cool. And Mark, Rob Mays is terrific, and we've been hanging out in Vancouver having a great time, and he brings a really funny, cool energy to the show. So, yeah. And
Arena sees some of the restaurant life as well.
A lot of the restaurant life. So yes, I had to do my research on the Kennebec Fry. Lots of restaurant stuff. It's a really cool setup as well. Wunderbar is the restaurant, and get to see Harry in action a lot more. It's great.
And you got even a nice sense with some of the guest stars and the guys, day people that came in. Your sous chef, Phil. You guys have a great.
And there's some fireworks with the new owner as well. There's a guy called
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah,
Get ready.
terrific.
He's like the guy you hate to love and want to see more of. He's really great.
Yeah, some great new characters.
Jennifer Esposito is another one coming on. And I hear she brings a little bit of danger with her, but clearly Joss is the one that she has the most story with. So what can you say about their friendship and Callista, the new character?
Yeah, it was really interesting, obviously, when we moved to Vancouver and all this changed in season 3, and we're so excited, and Alyssa, obviously being a mama, and you can't, it's hard, and we get it. So then it was a quick try to figure out, okay, who's going to fill those shoes, how, why, what capacity, and obviously how that character's going to exit. And I think what they realized was the exit of her sister was going to leave a huge void for Joss, and they need to fill it somehow. So it's that mentorship, it's that person that she looks up to, and enter, and because of the guilt and what she's wearing season 3 from this relationship that's happened, she's very vulnerable and ready for anyone to just not judge her, and enter Jennifer Esposito, who plays this. She just brought such an awesome energy to the show. We talk about it all the time. It felt very different, she's so seasoned, and on the page it's an awesome character, and then when she pulled it off and what she did with it, you're just half the time, the relationship between Joss especially and her are like, Thelma and Louise or something. And yeah, she's you're not quite sure how she's playing it. There's darkness for sure. There's a lot of darkness this season, actually. It's very different than the last 2.
They've shown a teaser clip of their first meeting, Joss and Callista. It seems like they kind of butt heads at first, but you can sense that they might be like a great, perfect pairing for each other. Like she might be able to match her sass.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, there are some scenes that we shot that afterward, I'm just thinking, I can't believe that we both just kind of did that. We're both very free, but she has a different kind of energy. So I hope the viewers think that they're good together. I think they're a lot of fun.
They're very funny. They're great stuff. I've seen some of really great scenes. These really good energy and chemistry together, and she's very vibrant, and she's also another polarizing character. Mm-hmm. She's a separate entity to the 4 girls. She doesn't just come and slot in. She's her own kind of solar system that Joss gets swept up in, and they have this terrific kind of chemistry together. Mm-hmm. So it's good stuff.
And they released some photos. It looks like, I know her character is a fashion designer. It looks like you might be walking the runway. They put a lot of preview pictures out there.
I mean, you should probably give us a little bit of an example.
Hey, calm down.
I'm just
Brett
saying,
Tucker. Calm down.
You look great. Let's kind
My
of.
feet are killing me. No, that was super fun. The fact that the clothes, we were just talking about the wardrobe this season and the difference of that. Anytime you bring a fashion designer to that capacity, she's ultimately supposed to be like, Versace, just the glory of everything, clothing designer, where she's a huge name. And so it's fun. That wardrobe and all that, who doesn't want to play with fancy wardrobe? And yes, maybe there's runway happening.
Well, even though your character is kind of a jeans and t-shirt kind of a girl sometimes, I feel like she has the best wardrobe. Maybe it's because the wardrobe I would wear, but is there anything that you've gotten to take home? Or, I mean, the whole cast has an amazing wardrobe. Do you guys get to sort of
Where's
borrow
ABC?
things?
ABC, I never take any wardrobe home.
No, we don't do that. It's in our contract. We can't
It's in
take
our contract.
wardrobe.
It's in the box.
Never do that.
In assets, ABC assets.
These jeans are mine.
So that's
I
a no.
swear.
Yeah. No, but I do wear some really great stuff, and it's funny because every season we have another wardrobe designer, and sometimes I come into my trailer and I'm just like, what is that? What are those polka dot tights? Are we wearing that with what? And somehow it worked. ABC, you get to be, it's so bright and vibrant, and the show is, look at these gals. They're so, it's so fun.
And on the flip side, Harry has a lack of wardrobe at times, but I don't personally mind. So
your chef whites are really awesome, and then you take them off.
Yeah, I don't put them on for long. Look, the first season I pretty much turned up to work in a towel. I just drove to work in a towel. It's just going to take longer to take my clothes, put them on, take them off again. So let's just, it's interesting, isn't it? I think I'm wearing more clothes this year.
Okay.
12 months older and all that, it gets a little harder. But yes, there's been quite a few moments. Luckily, luckily we shoot in summer, so not too bad.
Yeah. Now that the show is entering its 3rd season, Joss is obviously, she's grown a lot. She's had some missteps along the way, but she really has grown since we first met her. What's been the most fun part for you, watching this journey of her character?
The growth, for sure. I mean, you said it. It's 100%. And it is a shame that what the finding of love, which I think she wanted all along, just like I just she has a really big heart. That's what I loved about her. She makes really bad decisions, and we all have friends like her. You're like, oh God, like when the phone rings, you're like, oh my God, Karen's calling. Oh my God, and not Karen, but whoever's name is, you're like, I just don't want to pick it up. She's gonna make a bad decision and tell me all about it. But she's got a big heart, and that carried through. And then it does. It's sad that she falls in love and then it's totally inappropriate, because you'd love to just see her be able to be like really happy in love. And but yeah, the growth, I don't know.
Not that easy.
It's not that easy.
And what's been your favorite part of the journey now that you're entering into the third season?
I think that it has been a struggle for Harry, and I think that I like the fact that he's a fighter and he's continued to fight and he's hung in there. But certainly the progression of the relationship with Joss, that's been the most kind of beautiful moments, I think, for the character in the journey. But the struggle continues, and I just like the fact that he fights and continues to fight and keeps pushing forward, and also that he makes a lot of mistakes, but kind of fronts up about it as well. It's a very flawed character.
Yeah.
I can't. I struggle to do the hero thing. I love the fact that this guy makes a lot of mistakes as well and is flawed and just keeps fighting.
There's two other members of Mistresses, obviously Karen and April. Anything that we can expect for them that you guys are excited about, or storylines for them?
Just get ready. This season is awesome. I mean, it's awesome and crazy. It feels sometimes like, and I don't want to say it's a different show, but it's just everything's gone really hyper.
Yeah, there's a lot more happening a lot faster. It's like on steroids. It's so April, who is kind of, I think you would think is the most sort of conservative kind of character,
Well, not last season.
No, well, she takes it to another level this season.
But what's great is that the themes that have happened. I think they've this season have like with her daughter. We haven't really seen Lucy's like grown up and doing that rebellious thing. I mean, these storylines that we're not just repeating storylines. Karen has a completely, you're just gonna die. Like you're like, what is happening, right? Nothing that we've really repeated.
No,
I don't think
certainly not. And Corinne Messiah, speaking of, is so lovely. The actress who played, she's incredible, really beautiful. So
she's turned into a little woman, and like it's that thing where you come back from a season from 2 to 3 in that age where she shows up and she has like it's not hard. April, or Rochelle, I don't want to speak for April, but she's like my character. I'm not acting. Like she comes down the stairs with eyeshadow. And she's like, little girl, get back up to your room. Like what is this? So it's a really fun change. She's grown so much. So beautiful.
Great. Well, we are going to take some audience questions.
Wowzers.
They have the mic out there, I think. Yeah.
Hi, I'm going to stay seated. Question for Brett. I am in drama school right now. I have a lot of international friends who have accents, and they're afraid that they won't get work in America because of that. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a great question. And certainly that's something that played on my mind before I came out. But look, the industry has changed so much since even I've been in it, and remarkably. Like it used to be a thing. Like I was worried when I got this role. I was cast American, and when they decided on that day to change the accent, I was really concerned about being typecast as the Australian. But I can tell you that most of those boundaries that you put up are self-created. They don't exist. There are so many examples of people from all over the world working in this country, and that's the great thing about America. And it's getting easier and far more acceptable. You don't get pigeonholed. There's so much, people are changing in and out of accents. And American actors are doing accents. It just doesn't matter. And honestly, almost all of those walls that people put up are self-created. And so the only way they're going to find out really the truth is to give it a go. So yeah, hope that answers your question.
It's so funny. It's so diverse that I've actually it's gone the other way. I just had to say because I feel like it's gone where I want to go. I have thought about going into auditions with an English accent,
Right.
just because the Brits and the Aussies are stealing all the. I'm like, what? I can't be American now. I'm not interesting enough. So
Some friends of mine made a short film about an American actor pretending to be Australian to get an American role.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is this the first role that you've had that you've in the U.S. that you've gotten to play your normal
I did
accent?
a guestie on CSI playing Australian, and then
Castle. He loves when I talk about
No, that was
Castle.
supposed to be English, but it came out Australian. I did the single worst English accent ever known to man, and I got some grief for it. But it actually led to this job, Mistresses. So I thought I was never going to work again after doing the worst accent ever, and I ended up getting this gig. So sometimes you get lucky.
So what is the number one thing you guys have learned from working with each other?
Humility. No, I do. He's I don't know, with just the two of us or with everybody. I think with the two of us, I've learned. Oh, am I gonna start crying? Oh, no. He's so giving, and everybody on the show. Everybody has a different process. Like I love just drama school. That's fantastic. Everybody has a different process, and you kind of adjust to what everybody's process is and how they work it out. Or hope you try to. I try to anyway. And this is really fun and organic and giving and in the moment and kind of talked about a little bit, but then we just kind of go for it. And I think the great thing I've learned with him is to really try to find that deep sense of trust where you really know, like in the scene, you're like in any actor, you know, because that's a really freeing place to be, where you just know, like, I trust they're there and whatever I'm going to try isn't going to blow up in my face. That was really great, and I try to bring that into my work with other people. Get to that feeling because it's a great feeling with you.
Yeah, on a work kind of level, I sort of, my thing is often I over prepare out of fear of looking stupid, so I can tend to work on it, which is nothing wrong with preparation. It should be there, but the thing that working with Jess is so great is being able to let go, And sometimes preparation is great because you're sort of on your own, but when you're with an actor that you really work well with and click together, Jess has taught me to kind of let go of the preparation and trust is a really good word for it, and to be able to be completely present and focused on the other person rather than trying to think about your preparation, all that kind of stuff. Does that make sense? Plus, I learnt that she's kind of like a dude with tits.
By the way, like so many people don't. Yes, see? Thank you. I am kind of like a dude with tits. I'm not angry about that. Whatever. Drop the mic.
Done.
Right there. So there's been some cast members on this show that are on other ABC shows, like Jason's on Grey's Anatomy and Justin was on Revenge. If there was one ABC show that you guys could cameo on, which one would it be?
I think American Crime.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
I knew it. That's why I said it fast. That's why I was like, American Crime.
Or The Bachelorette.
That would be great.
That would not be great.
They're making a phone call right now. Things are happening. Like they're running through the aisle.
They've already
like,
tweeted it that you want to, yeah.
Yeah, it's been. Dancing with the Stars is a fun one too. Like if you're gonna go reality, although I just would.
that
I
would
would be.
just
You
go
would be terrifying.
bad.
That would be
It'd badly
amazing.
for me. I'm all thumbs on my feet.
You guys also, like she said, you guys have such great guest stars or recurring actors that come on the show. And in this season, you have a few more to come. I think like Lynn Whitfield and some other actors. It must be so fun.
Ed Quinn. We've got who else do we have?
Manuel Bougier.
Yeah, we're in Canada, so there's a lot of Canadian happening, and yeah, we've got a lot of.
Yeah, we've got some really great recurring guest roles this year that cause a lot of trouble. It's good fun for us.
Don't they usually? They usually come
That's
in
what
to
they're there
cause
for,
the trouble
right?
and then they
Exactly.
peace out.
Take off again. Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody wants to talk to us anymore. That's it.
We have another clip to show everyone, so we can. I don't know where they're playing.
You might
it.
need your sunglasses for this one, I think, if it's
Scuba masks, sunglasses. I don't know.
Yeah.
Safety
so
goggles.
We'll play that before we wrap up.
Everyone, put on your helmets. Please keep your hands and arms inside the vehicle at all times.
I'm thinking it over. The way you make me feel all sexy, but it's causing me shame. I wanna lean on your shoulder. I wish I was allowed, but I don't wanna cause any pain.
You better ignore that.
Maybe I'm thinking it over.
Let me just. It's Karen.
Why is Karen calling
Oh,
you?
I have no idea. Should I?
Guess that answers that.
Just.
Oh, for the love of.
Okay, let me just.
okay?
Oh, thank God you're there. I'm sorry to bother you, but do you have any idea where Joss might be?
Did you say you were looking for Joss?
Put her on the phone, Harry.
Hey, I know this looks bad, but What? Okay. Yeah, no, I'll be right there. Okay, bye. Oh, I gotta go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll call you later, Harry.
Joss? Wait, Joss!
Well, now that we've made you thoroughly uncomfortable, I guess.
As you can see, accents don't matter in the slightest. I was not aware it was that clip, but that's...
Thank you to you both for being here. And tonight there's a special 2-hour premiere, but Mistresses Thursdays at 9 p.m. So everyone tune in, and looking forward to seeing where that moment picks up. I don't know about you guys.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.